11 low-cost superfoods you should eat to live to 100.
Number 11. Oats. Oats are one of the most underrated longevity foods, not the sugar-loaded instant packets, but real rolled or steel-cut oats. They're packed with beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that helps lower LDL cholesterol, the kind that clogs arteries and shortens lifespans. I've seen patients swap their sugary breakfast cereal for a simple bowl of oats with cinnamon and berries, and within 3 months, their cholesterol panels looked completely different. And here's the kicker. A pound of oats costs less than $2 and can make 10 or more breakfasts. Beyond heart health, oats support steady blood sugar and feed beneficial gut bacteria, both of which play a role in longevity. Pair them with walnuts or flax seeds, and you've got a powerhouse breakfast that fuels your morning without spiking insulin or draining your wallet. Number 10. Beans and lentils. Beans and lentils are probably the cheapest source of high-quality nutrition you'll ever find, and one of the most overlooked when it comes to longevity. They're loaded with plant-based protein, fiber, magnesium, and folate, nutrients linked to lower risks of heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. I'll be honest, I underestimated them early in my career. I used to think, how much difference could a bowl of beans really make? Then I saw patients who started replacing red meat with lentil soups or bean-based meals just 2 to 3 times a week. Their blood pressure dropped, their digestion improved, and the cost? Pennies per serving. Canned or dried, both work. Just rinse canned beans to reduce sodium. Add them to salads, chili, tacos, wherever you need more protein and fiber without the heavy price tag. For longevity, consistency matters more than complexity, and beans make it easy. Number 9. Leafy greens. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, collard greens, even simple romaine, are some of the most powerful anti-aging foods you can eat. They're packed with vitamins A, C, and K, plus antioxidants that protect your cells from the wear and tear of daily life. I've seen older patients who started adding just 1 serving a day, a handful of spinach in an omelet, kale in a smoothie, or a quick salad, and within weeks, their energy and digestion noticeably improved. Over time, studies have linked greens to sharper memory, stronger bones, and lower risk of heart disease. The best part? A bag of fresh spinach costs less than a fancy coffee, and if fresh isn't available, frozen works just as well. The key is frequency, not perfection. A small portion every day is far more powerful than eating a whole bag once a month. Number 8. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are more than a holiday side dish. They're loaded with beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A, essential for eye health, immune function, and skin repair. They also provide slow-digesting carbohydrates, meaning they release energy gradually and help maintain stable blood sugar levels. I once had a patient who swapped their daily bagel for a small roasted sweet potato with a sprinkle of cinnamon. After 8 weeks, their afternoon energy crashes virtually disappeared and their A1C numbers improved. That's how powerful a small change can be. They're also one of the most budget-friendly vegetables. A single sweet potato costs about $1 and can be prepared dozens of ways, baked, mashed, or even sliced into fries and roasted. Simple, versatile, and packed with nutrients your body needs to age well. Number 7. Cabbage. Cabbage doesn't get much attention, but it's one of the cheapest and most versatile foods for long-term health. As a cruciferous vegetable, it contains compounds like sulforaphane and indole-3-carbinol, both linked to cancer prevention and reduced inflammation. I've seen patients overlook cabbage because it feels too basic, but when they started adding it to stir-fries, soups, or simple slaws a few times a week, digestion improved and bloating went down. It's also low in calories but high in fiber, which supports gut health and keeps you full without spiking blood sugar. And here's the kicker. A single head of cabbage can feed a family for days, costing less than a fast food meal. Plus, it lasts in the fridge far longer than leafy greens, making it a smart, low-waste choice. Food number 6. Apples. Apples look so ordinary that people forget how powerful they are. 1 medium apple gives you about 4 grams of fiber, and most of it's the type that keeps blood sugar steady and cholesterol down. I've had patients who swapped their afternoon cookie for an apple, and within a few months, their triglycerides dropped noticeably. What makes apples interesting isn't just the fiber, it's the polyphenols. These plant compounds literally act like tiny shields, reducing oxidative stress in your blood vessels and protecting your brain over the long haul. There's even research showing regular apple eaters have a lower risk of stroke. And cost-wise, a whole pound of apples is often cheaper than a single superfood smoothie at a juice bar. You don't need powders shipped from the Himalayas when you've got Granny Smith or Honeycrisp at your local grocery store. The trick is simple. Eat them with the skin on. That's where most of the nutrients live. Peel it, and you've lost half the benefit. Number 5. Carrots. Carrots are one of those foods people think of as basic, but they quietly do more for long-term health than most supplements I see patients wasting money on. The star here is beta-carotene. Your body converts it into vitamin A, which keeps your eyes and immune system functioning properly. That's why you'll rarely see a vitamin A deficiency in people who regularly eat orange or dark green vegetables. But here's something most people don't realize. Carrots don't just help your vision. The antioxidants in carrots actually help reduce free radical damage, the microscopic wear and tear that accelerates aging. There's data showing higher intake of carotenoid-rich foods is linked to lower risk of certain cancers and heart disease. Real-world tip: carrots are dirt cheap. A 2-pound bag might cost you $3, and it'll last all week. Compare that to the $40 bottles of longevity pills sitting on Amazon. You're better off crunching on raw carrots with hummus. One more thing, don't fear cooking them. Lightly steaming or roasting actually increases the bioavailability of carotenoids, so your body absorbs more. Just don't drown them in butter and sugar like some holiday recipes do. Number 4. Brown rice or quinoa. Whole grains don't get enough credit. Everyone talks about protein, but longevity depends just as much on what fuels you day to day, and that's where brown rice and quinoa come in. Unlike white rice, brown rice still has its bran and germ intact, meaning it gives you fiber, B vitamins, and minerals like magnesium that white rice stripped away decades ago. Now, quinoa, technically a seed, packs even more. It's one of the few plant foods that's a complete protein, meaning it has all 9 essential amino acids. That makes it especially powerful if you're cutting back on meat, but still want muscle and steady energy. I've had patients who lived on white bread and pasta, constantly riding blood sugar spikes and crashes. The switch to brown rice or quinoa didn't just improve their lab numbers, they stopped feeling that 3 p.m. crash where you need coffee to stay awake. And the best part? They're affordable. A 2-pound bag of brown rice might cost $2. Quinoa is pricier, but even then, a 1-pound bag stretches into multiple meals when you use it in salads, soups, or as a side. If you want to get the longevity benefits, keep it simple. Pair these grains with vegetables, beans, or lean proteins. That combination keeps your gut microbiome happy, your blood sugar steady, and your energy consistent. Number 3. Sardines, canned in water or olive oil. Sardines don't get the spotlight, but honestly, they're one of the most underrated longevity foods you can buy. For a couple of dollars a can, you're getting omega-3 fatty acids, the same heart and brain protecting fats people spend big money on in supplement form. Except here, they come in the natural package, alongside protein, vitamin D, and even calcium if you eat the tiny bones. I'll be honest, I used to roll my eyes at sardines. I thought they were just smelly little fish nobody actually wanted to eat. But then I looked at the data. Regular consumption of oily fish like sardines is linked to lower risk of cardiovascular disease, slower cognitive decline, and reduced inflammation. That's huge when we're talking about living not just longer, but sharper. Here's a practical point. They're canned. That means no prep, no spoilage, and they're always ready in your pantry. Compare that to buying fresh salmon every week at $15 a pound. A can of sardines might run you $1.50. And you're still getting the same critical nutrients. How to make them more approachable: pair them with whole grain crackers, mix them into a salad, or mash them with a little mustard and lemon. Once you get past the idea of them, sardines become one of the simplest, cheapest tools for heart and brain longevity you'll find in the grocery aisle. Number 2, garlic. Garlic has been used as medicine for thousands of years, and modern research finally explains why. The active compound allicin, released when you crush or chop garlic, has powerful anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial effects. I've seen patients who started cooking with garlic regularly notice real changes in their blood pressure and cholesterol levels within a few months. Here's the science. Garlic can help lower LDL cholesterol and modestly reduce blood pressure, both of which are huge factors in preventing heart disease. It also supports your immune system, not in a gimmicky boost your immunity overnight way, but by enhancing your body's natural defenses over time. That means fewer infections, faster recovery, and less chronic inflammation wearing your system down. But garlic's real strength is in how easy and cheap it is to use. A whole bulb costs less than $1, and you can stretch it across multiple meals. Compare that to fancy supplements that claim to detox your body. Most of them don't even come close to what garlic does naturally. Practical tip: if you want the full benefit, don't just swallow it raw. That's rough on your stomach. Chop it, let it sit for a few minutes to activate the allicin, Then add it to soups, stir-fries, or roasted vegetables. You get flavor, you get health, and you're supporting longevity without even thinking about it. 1. Eggs. Eggs have been through more reputation drama than almost any food I can think of. One decade they're called a cholesterol bomb. The next they're a superfood. The truth, after years of research, is a lot more balanced. For most healthy people, eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense, affordable proteins you can eat. A single egg gives you about 6 grams of high-quality protein, along with choline, which is critical for brain health and memory. That's especially important as we age, because choline helps maintain healthy nerve signaling. You're also getting vitamin D, B12, selenium, and a whole package of nutrients that are tough to replace with one superfood shake. Now, I've seen patients cut eggs out for years because they were terrified of cholesterol. But when we look at the bigger picture, the impact of dietary cholesterol from eggs is minimal compared to the real villains, ultra-processed foods and trans fats. In fact, studies show that moderate egg intake, say 1 a day, can actually support cardiovascular health. And cost? A dozen eggs is still one of the cheapest protein sources in the store. You'd have to buy multiple supplements or pricey meats to cover the same nutritional ground. If you want to maximize the benefit, don't just eat the whites. The yolk is where most of the nutrients live. Yes, it has cholesterol, but it's also packed with choline, vitamin A, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which protect your eyes. Longevity isn't about one magic food, it's about patterns. The people I've seen live into their 90s weren't chasing supplements or fad diets. They ate simple, whole foods consistently and kept processed junk to a minimum. I've had patients spend hundreds on longevity pills with zero change in their labs. But the ones who swapped soda for water or white bread for brown rice, their numbers improved within months. Your genetics set the stage, but what you eat every day decides the performance. That's the real secret to living past 100. If you want practical health advice that works in real life, subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next one.